Good afternoon, grade sixes. Welcome to our lesson for today. Okay, I know it's a bit hot now, but today we want to talk about work and leisure in the past and present. This is heritage and social studies. Work and leisure in the past and present. We have done our lesson on work and leisure where we talked about different skills. Now, I want to firstly let's talk about work and leisure in the past. Leisure in the past. Okay? Yes. I think I remember Tabo was there for our last lesson. You remember Tabo was there, even Samantha was there. Do you still remember when we talk about skilled labor and skilled, and we talked about, yes, we talked about those type of workers. Let's talk about leisure in the past. You can be taking down notes where you feel necessary, okay? All ethnic groups were engaged in leisure activities. Everyone in the past was engaged in leisure activities. There was a day set aside every week just to relax and rest. This was called PC or easy law. Okay, there was a day in the past, there was a day or in the way they call it easy law when everyone was supposed to relax and rest. Shona, they called it Chisi. I hope I am pronouncing it well in Shona. Chisi. In Debele, Izilo. I know in Debele. Who can tell me in Debele on which day do people don't, where there is a day in Debele during the week when people don't go emasimini? Which day is that? In Christianity, we don't go to church on Sunday, but in the African way, there is a day when they go, oh, they'll go to the fields Monday, Tuesday, but there's a day when they don't go to the fields. Which day is that? Tabo, you want to try? Yes, Tabo?
It will be Tuesday.
No, it's not Tuesday. It's on Wednesday. Okay. Yes, Tabo wanted to try again. Yes, Tabo?
Want to say Sunday.
It is on Wednesday. In Christianity, on Sunday, we don't go. Okay. So even in the past, there was a day whereby everyone would go to the fields. But on Wednesday, you notice that people don't go to the fields. This was leisure day. Okay. When you talk about leisure, when I'm saying leisure, leisure started even in the past. Okay. And we're going to talk about it in the present. So in the past, there was a day when people just relax and rest, which was called Chisi. Chisi is Chisi, like in the way Chisi, Izilo in the way Izilo. Grandmothers and grandfathers were sources of educative folk tales, which taught children good morals and manners. These stories were normally listened to whilst relaxing around a fire at night. Can I see those who have a grandfather or a grandmother that is still alive? Yes, I can see Tabo and Samantha. Yes, Samantha is Makumalo. I know I have a grandmother of mine called Makumalo. She likes to tell us folk tales. In Debele, we call them Inganewani. Can you give me any heading of Inganewani that your grandmother or your grandfather has ever told you about? Even in Isindebele, it's okay because the folk tales were used during leisure time, okay? During that time when there was leisure, the people would come around a fire, then the grandmothers and grandfathers would tell them folk tales. Okay, is there any folk tale that you know that you have heard about? A folk tale is Inganewani that was told during leisure, that maybe even your grandmother or has ever told you, or you have heard someone else, another grandmother. Remember, grandmothers, we share grandmothers. My grandmother can be your grandmother, Samantha's grandmother can be mine. Very, a gogo is a gogo. Doesn't matter whose gogo it is, okay? They are all our grandmothers. Yes. Is there any folk tale that any grandmother has told you about that you know about? Tabo, do you want to? Yes, I can see Tabo's hand is trying to come up. Yes, Tabo. Please don't be shy. Even me, I have listened to these tales. Yes, Tabo.
Umdlalo Telet.
Umvundla Lonteletsha, that one is the best. I think there is no one who doesn't know Umvundla Lonteletsha. Ukuthi babephekana baze bathini omunye wahamba esechayelela amathambo esehlabela mpelere gumpere Bathini. That is a folk tale, okay, about Umvundla Lontelecha. Is it the same one that you wanted to talk about, Samantha? Eka Mvundla Lontelecha? Which one do you know, Samantha?
No.
Which one do you know, Samantha? Even in Ndebele, that you know a folk tale, because I know folk tales, they are told in indigenous languages. Umvundla Logundwane. Yeah, Umvundla Logundwane. That is another one, yes. And Umvundla, if we see it, the hair, he seems like he was a very good character in our folk tales. You hear about him tricking people, tricking Undlovu, tricking Ufudu. We hear about this. These folk tales were told during leisure. Okay, yes, during the leisure time. So your grandmother was told by your great-grandmother, who told the great-grandmother, passed on from another great-great-grandmother. That's where they come from. And they were told during leisure time. So leisure time comes from the past. Okay, the folk tales were told during leisure time. All right. Evenings were also the best time for traditional dances, where there was singing and beating of drums and any other entertaining activities. So another, in the past, if they ask you, can you name an activity of leisure that was done in the past? You can name the folk tales. You write it in indigenous language, okay? You can name traditional dances. There were traditional dances that were done during leisure time. They were singing, traditional dances that were there. I still remember when I was in primary school, we had a traditional dance, if you have heard about it. It was a traditional dance. We would dance that during the time we had that. People used to dance this traditional dance from way back. They used to do that during their leisure time. Remember, in the past, there were no schools, right? So these traditional dances and folk tales were the schools that they had, okay? They would teach them a lot of things. We were taught how to dance, how to sing, okay, indigenous cultures and about so many things. It was exciting. I still remember Unyawo Lwam, Dlalisa Unyawo Lwam. I still remember it from my grade 7. Okay, among the Ndebele dances included Isichikicha. I remember Unyawo Lwam waye Unyawo Lwam Dlalisa Unyawo Lwam. Kwakudlalwa ngesichikicha. We used to do it Isichikicha. And Ingquzu as well. These were traditional dances that were done for both women or girls and boys. Isichikicha and Ingquzu. Can you spell Ingquzu? Mu is GQU. Yes, I can see Makumalo knows Ingquzu. GQU. Ngquzu. Ingquzu with an N. NGQU. While the Shona did Jerusalem, and Mbakumba. Unfortunately, I have never managed to see these dances, but I'm sure they were just as nice as Isichigicha as well. Yes, I think I've seen it. I used to see it in the television. Way back, we used to watch a lot of the Zimbabwean television, the ZTV. It was exciting. We'd watch this Chigicha there. Even these dances for Jerusalem, they were there. Yes, during our time. In the Ndebele state, ceremonies were conducted to celebrate the fertility of the land. So there were also some traditional ceremonies that were done during leisure time. The first fruit ceremony called Inwala. There was Inwala ceremony. Okay, this is another ceremony called the fruit celebration. Okay, so if maybe let's say the land would have the first fruits, then they would celebrate that the land is fertile, and it was called the Inwala ceremony, which was celebrated annually. The king officiated this in his capacity as the political and religious leader of the state. This Inwala ceremony was celebrated in the Ndebele state under the king Umzilikazi Lobengula. They did Inwala ceremony. If you go back to your history, you will learn about how nice the Inwala ceremony was. So if you are talking about leisure from the past, you talk about the folk tales, you talk about the traditional dances that were taught, like Ischigicha, Ingquzu, Jerusalem. You talk about the Inwala ceremonies that were celebrated. This was done during leisure. So even in the past, people did not always go to the fields every now and then. They also had time to do leisure. But remember, we said leisure does not mean just sleeping, lazing around, doing nothing. Leisure means you do some activity that you love, okay? A chore, a hobby, you can do that during your leisure, okay? Yes. So these are the activities that were done. So games were played also. Games played an important part in the social life of the people. The traditional games played included playing house, mahumbwe, amandlwane. When we were young, we used to play with others. We say, I'm the mother, this one is the father, there will be children. This is what we call playing house, amandlwane, mahumbwe. Hide and seek. Yes, there was hide and seek. You are back. What happened to our network? Oh, thank you. All right. We're saying that another important thing that was done during leisure were games. Let's also take that down. In the past, there were games. Okay? Games. These games included amandlwane. Do you know amandlwane? I don't know. You guys nowadays, you have these iPads and phones, so you don't have any friends. You don't play outside. I understand now there is this clay that is made in factories, that is made so that you don't become dirty. When you used to grow up, you used to play with other children. Maybe you say, this one is going to be the mother, this one is the father, these are the children. And then you play. Okay, then you have a father and the mother, maybe the children, they steal sugar, and then the mother comes to pick the children up. That is amandlwane. Yes. Mawumbwe in Shona. Okay, and also there was hide and seek. This one you know it, right? You know hide and seek. I know you played at school. Hide and seek. Hide and seek is called in the what we call hide and seek. We call it Ndebele. Hide and seek. Yes, Samantha.
uMamcatshelana.
Yeah, umacatshelana, and these are the indigenous games that were there from way back. Okay, yes, where we are talking about playing house, amandlwane or mahumbwe, hide and seek, chiwande wande or umacatshelana. Yes, these are the games that were played way back. They used to play these games during their leisure time. I know when we used to grow up, we used to have Umam 25. I don't know if it is still there. Is it still there? Umam 25. Do you know it? I can see Samantha is looking at me like I'm crazy. There was something called Umam 25. Mom 25, what we used to do, we would draw boxes at one end and another box at one end. Then there would be a circle inside that is connected to the box. Then there will be two people who are standing across, one across the other. Then they will be throwing balls. So you stand on this box, you want to cross to the other side. So we'll be counting 1, 2, and then you cross. Yes, there are others from the other game, right? You divide into two games. There's people from the other game, they have games. So what you need to do, kumele ufike, okay? What we say so that that ball doesn't hit you. So it was called Umam 25. Yes, we used to play such kinds of games. We used to have kick and run as well, where someone is rolling the ball to you and you have to hit the ball using your foot. But you should make sure that that ball must not fall on someone else's yard. If it goes to another person's yard, will say, yardy. So now you are out. We used to play these games. We used to have fun. But nowadays, you find that Samantha has her iPad in the house. She doesn't even know her neighbor's name or anyone across the street. Yes, but we know nowadays you also have to be safe. Yes, and our parents are doing that to keep you safe as well because people commit mistakes out there as well. Yes, so these are the games we used to play way back, and these games are coming from the past. Okay, we do them during leisure. I know nowadays you guys at leisure, you take your phone, you are busy on the internet and everything. Yes, but this is what people from the past did. Now let's look at leisure at the present. Leisure at present. We're talking about leisure now. What is happening now? As work usually strains both mind and body, it is important to rest and relax as to life. When people are free, they usually find something to do to occupy themselves or pass time. There are now a variety of activities people fill their free time doing. Some watch soccer, they watch television. I know I'm talking to Tabo right now. Tabo, what is your favorite what do you call them? Sports? What do you call them? These arsenals and what do you call them? Are they what do they clubs? Yes, they call them clubs. What is your favorite sports club? Do you have one? I know others, Manchester United, Manchester City. Which one is yours, Tabo? Yes, Tabo.
My favorite sports in TV would be basketball.
Oh, basketball. Do you have a favorite player or a team or something from basketball? I know the NBA. That's a club in basketball. You see, Tabo. You should know these things. Mrs. Loja knows the NBA. I know a little bit about basketball as well. Yes. So this is what people do during their leisure time. Nowadays, Tabo watches basketball. Okay, others are watching television. Samantha, do you have a favorite soap in SAPC that you love to watch? A favorite soap? Which one is it, Samantha? I know girls, they love watching TV. These nice soaps, Generations, Skim Sammy. Which one do you like, Samantha? That you watch during your leisure time?
Elif,
Sorry, Samantha, please repeat yourself.
Elif,
Elif, Elif, is it Elif? A leaf. Oh, Samantha loves a leaf. I love
yes,
Zalo and there's this other one on ETV now. There is Deb and Jen. I also love that one. And this one for Mazulu. I also love that one as well. Yes, these we watch television during our leisure time. Yes, and sometimes some people read books. We have libraries. We talk to friends. We listen to the radio. We watch movies, go swimming, or do anything to pass time. So this is the contrast between in the past and the present. In the present, people are using phones, television, radios, reading books. Okay, the upgrading of the technology, that is the difference. But the same things that we both enjoy leisure time. Other people are refreshed by playing games like soccer, tennis, netball, or cricket. However, most of these sporting games have turned people into professionals. Some people tell themselves that I'm doing this for my leisure, and then you end up seeing professionals. We have professional soccer players. I know Messi. Is he called Messi? Yes, I know Messi. That's the one I know. Ronaldo. Yes, these are professional soccer players. When they were starting, they started doing it as a leisure. So don't take leisure as something that is something less. It's something that you should take seriously because from leisure you can develop an interest and you can make money out of it. Imagine becoming reading books and then you become an author. Okay, playing soccer, you become the next soccer player who in line. Okay, all of these things. Imagine just playing netball, and the next thing we are seeing you in televisions, and people have bought you. You are now in the United States of America. You are playing netball. All these things happen. So we should not take leisure as something to sleep. No one gets paid for sleeping. Okay, so if you just sleep during leisure, you are killing yourself. Do something important because there is no company that is going to pay you, Samantha, for only sleeping every day. But if you are busy reading your book, you are also activating your mind. If you are busy playing netball, you are activating your mind. You are learning something. Okay, so some leisure activities can turn us into professionals. There are many people who now earn a living through sports. I was talking about Messi. Even basketball, they say that the richest sports people are basketball players and soccer players. They are the richest people that we have, okay, on this earth. Okay, they follow the business people. Okay, they started playing soccer outside their house, just trying to find hits here and there, and now they are on the world map. They are making money, earning a living out of that. In town, some people go to clubs, cinemas, bars, or any other party to enjoy themselves. Those with money or those who would have saved up to go to the tourist resort places and enjoy themselves with different activities like horse riding, playing casino games, and so on. Other people just take walks in the forest. This is what we do during our leisure time. People also go to beer parties and bars. Some go hunting in the forest or fishing in the rivers and dams. Okay, so this is what people do leisure in the past and leisure at the present. I want us to look at work at present. This is what we learned about the last time. It's just a recap. We said there are different kinds of work which people do nowadays. The kind of work one does depends on the level of education and skill one has. Most jobs require a certain level of education and training in that field. Workers can be put into different classes according to their level of education and training of a particular job. Workers can be unskilled, semi skilled, or skilled. Now, what is an unskilled worker? Let's go back to what this is just a revision recap. Yes, Tabo, an unskilled worker. Yes, Tabo.
And an unskilled worker is a worker that didn't learn it all.
Yes, unskilled workers are normally general workers. Okay, they are not trained for the job. Okay, they are not trained for the job. Okay, yes, just like maybe even me, I can bake a cake at home. Maybe Tabo will say, Mrs. Mloja, I have a birthday day. Can you please bake a birthday cake for me? Does it mean I'm now a chef, a professional baker? No. Okay. I bake because of my passion. I cannot go around saying, oh, you know what, now I'm a professional baker. I'm an unskilled worker. Okay. I can bake, but I didn't go to school for that. I didn't train for it. Okay. These are unskilled workers. Okay, so sometimes you can have these people are not trained for the job. They fall in the category of general cleaners, the cooks, housemaids, storekeepers, and many others. I can cook, but that doesn't make me a chef. Okay, someone has gone to school to become a chef, and Mrs. Mloja loves to cook. She can cook salsa, she can cook a nice meal, she can bake nicely, but that doesn't mean I am a chef. Okay, a chef will go to work, will go to school for 4 years, get skill and everything. He knows how many millimeters of this, how much grams, how many of this. That person is skilled. Okay, so this one is an unskilled worker. They are normally general workers. Then we have the semi-skilled workers. These ones are those with knowledge of the job. They acquire job skills on the job. Yes, Taro wanted to add on to what I have said.
I wanted to say semi-skilled workers are workers that are still learning but working at a company.
Okay, yes, thank you, Tabo, for that. Yes, I was saying that for the semi-skilled workers, yes, they are still, they don't have much experience. I gave the example of even attachis. Okay, I can go to the university and learn to become a doctor, but to become a doctor, I have to operate on someone. Do you understand? So these ones, they require job skills on the job. They need to go and acquire experience. Okay, I have learned about how to work electricals. Okay, but I must go and work on the job. Okay, I gave an example of people work at ZESA. Okay, if you go and do an electric diploma, okay, you cannot say I can now operate on any electrics. You first have to go on the job, right? And you are attached there. As you are attached, you are also learning there on the job. So you are unskilled. You still need to gain more skills there. You know, general, that this is a live wire, this is a neutral wire, but you have never put them together and seen what are the things that come about. You understand? So they are unskilled. Then we have the skilled workers. These ones are well trained for the job. They have attained a certain level of education and acquired a professional course. They know very well, they know their work well, and need legal guidance in their jobs. Most skilled workers have white collar jobs. We have things called white collar jobs. If you are skilled, a skilled worker, you are in the white collar sector. So this group of workers includes the doctors, the nurses, publishers, teachers, engineers, and many others. So Mrs. Mloja is under the white collar job because she is a skilled worker who has trained in teaching. Okay, those who are doctors, they are under the white collar sector where they are trained under being a doctor. Do you understand? I cannot just move from my house and go and be a lawyer in the court when I haven't gone for that 7-year course that they have as lawyers. Do you understand? Chabo just sit up now, then he goes to the court and says he's going to represent his little brother in court. That's impossible. You have to go through training, proper training for you to attain a certificate and say, this is my certificate for being a lawyer, so I can stand up for you in court. Those are skilled workers. So there is another group of workers which are called self-employed. There is another group of workers that are called self-employed individuals. Who can tell me what are self-employed workers? Self-employed. It is explaining itself. Self-employed. Yes, Tabo, please try.
It's a person who wanted to be the owner of the business. He built the business.
Thank you, Tabo. A self-employed worker, they are self-employed individuals. These workers do their own work. They might own small or medium businesses. Okay, you find your father who has his own, is good in mechanics, so he owns his own mechanic shop where he's fixing the cars. We have people, these people, they own their own businesses. They don't work for anybody. They are self-employed. Okay, you hear someone says, I'm a self-employed woman, I do work for myself. Okay, yes, I earn a living by working on my own. That's a self-employed people. So we have unskilled workers, semi-skilled workers, skilled workers, and self-employed individuals. They do things on their own. They make their own money. Thank you, Tabo. Thank you, Samantha, for joining me in today's lesson on leisure in the past and leisure in the present. Remember, leisure time is time for us to do our hobbies and activate our mind, not to sleep and leg around. Leisure time has to improve you somehow. Learn something from it. Okay, don't just laze around. You know that dog that just lays around the door, even when the thieves are coming in, it just looks at the thieves. People steal everything and the dog is just lying outside there. The house is left and the dog is just lying. It can't even bark. Okay, let's use our leisure time wisely. We see some people are becoming professionals through their leisure time. Thank you, Samantha. And thank you, Tabo. I've already uploaded work. I think, Samantha, you have seen it. So now you can be able to write the other work on heritage leisure in the past. Thank you, Samantha. I'm sure Tabo's network is up, but he has joined us. Thank you so much. So bye, Samantha. See you again tomorrow. Have a nice day. Bye.